Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you back to the day 2 of a Cultural Vistas Virtual Awards benefit. As we welcome people into the Zoom meeting, would love if you joined us yesterday, if you could enter into the chat any highlights or sort of takeaways, aha moments that you had from yesterday's very rich conversations. Or if you weren't with us yesterday, just put into the chat where you're joining us from. Panama City, awesome. Welcome. Detroit, my hometown. Gaithersburg, West Palm Beach, Concord. Thanks for sharing the inspiring optimism for the future of international collaboration. Thanks, Nancy. London, Tokyo, Columbus, Singapore. Shelf life of skills gets shorter and shorter. That's absolutely true. Thanks, Dan, for that. Brooklyn, New York. Give it about another minute. We have an exciting packed day today. A little more informal from our meeting yesterday. It should be a lot of fun. Armenia, welcome, Sona. The Hague in the Netherlands, awesome. Lahore, Pakistan. Welcome, welcome. Any other thoughts from yesterday's sessions? Positive attitude never ceases to amaze me. I couldn't agree with you more. Roy, welcome from the Upper East Side of New York. Okay, all right. So welcome back to day 2 again. For those of you who were not able to be with us yesterday, I'm Jennifer Clinton, President and CEO of Cultural Vistas. Today's theme is about celebrating diverse cultures, from poetry to food to a little healthy competition. These are all elements that bring people together, that really create those opportunities for better understanding and appreciating others. Yesterday, we focused more on global leadership, recognizing those who are working day in and day out to make a difference in their organizations, their communities, and their nations. We were thrilled to have CNN Worldwide host and author Fareed Zakaria frame our conversation and who shared some compelling highlights from his new book, 10 Lessons for a Post-Pandemic World. We also had our 2020 alumni awardees with us, Cisco, represented by Sherry Slate, who spoke about their commitment to equity and inclusion and developing a truly global workplace. And we also heard from 3 alumni from their outstanding work in the United States, the Philippines, and Fiji. We will be sharing a recorded video of yesterday's event, along with a full recap next week on our website, so be sure to visit culturalvistas.org. Also, I wanted to let you know that we're inching closer to our fundraising goal of $100,000 for this event. Yesterday, we hit $90,000, and I just want to thank all of our sponsors, supporters. It really, really makes a difference. Every contribution has tremendous meaning to us. You can make a one-time gift, a recurring gift of $10, $20, no matter the amount, every dollar helps. We need to sustain the global networks and commitment to international cooperation and community. There are so many forces that we're working against, but I know that together and bringing this community together regularly will make the difference. So if you'd like to make a donation to Cultural Vistas, you can text CV2020 to 44321. Before we dive in, I have a few housekeeping notes to share. Today's cultural program will feature a spoken poem created by an international group of Cultural Vistas alumni. We'll have a food and culture break with Chef Bruce Barnes of Colby Inn in New Hampshire and a global trivia competition. Make sure you stay to compete, as you'll have the opportunity to win the grand prize, a C.F. Martin ukulele, thanks to our board member, Jackie Runner, CEO of C.F. Martin Guitars. The program will run till about 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if any reason you are disconnected during the program, please join us again by following the link we sent you in your email this morning. If you need any assistance with technology during the program, we're here to help. Please reach out to us via email at events@culturalvistas.org or send a private chat question to the panelists and we will help you. Also, be sure to engage with us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Cultural Vistas, and we'll be sharing program highlights there. We welcome your thoughts as well as using the hashtag #CVBenefit. It's now my pleasure to introduce Jeff Reinke, Chairman of the Cultural Vistas Board of Directors. Jeff serves as the Chief of Staff to the President at the Council on Foreign Relations, and he has been instrumental in the leadership of our organization over the past 7 years, but particularly over the past 7 months. Jeff, I want to just publicly and personally thank you for your steady and calm leadership of Cultural Vistas and this entire community over the past 7 years you've been working with us, but definitely this past year. I appreciate being able to lean on you and the entire board. So thanks and welcome.
Okay, well, thank you, Jennifer, and thank you in particular for the leadership that you've displayed through this crisis. I know this is a tough time for all the international exchange programs and organizations, and we rely on you and the team there at Cultural Vistas to help keep our programs going. So on behalf of the entire board, I just want to share our continued commitment to the future of Cultural Vistas. So as Jennifer mentioned, I work at the Council on Foreign Relations, and one of our beliefs there is that knowledge about the world, or global literacy, is an essential civic duty. And we work hard to promote that. And what Cultural Vistas does is bringing people from around the world together for professional training and international experiences. That's an important way to help foster increased global literacy. So I and we on the board are so pleased to be part of this, and thank all of you for participating today and for your ongoing support. So alumni around the world have been the inspiration for how we shape the future of Cultural Vistas' programs. The International Visitor Leadership Program is one of the longest and proudest exchanges that the United States supports. The International Visitor Leadership Program is a professional exchange program funded by the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. And the mission of the IVLP is to offer current and emerging international leaders the opportunity to experience the richness and diversity of American political, economic, social, and cultural life through exchanges that take place in the United States. In 2020, this program is celebrating its 80th anniversary. Over the years, leaders from Margaret Thatcher to Jacinda Ardern have participated, and Cultural Vistas is proud of this program. So in 2019, a group of IVLP participants explored the United States as part of a Cultural Vistas administered program focused on social change through the arts. I'd like now to present Everyone Coughs, a poem written by a group of these participants who continued to work with each other virtually after the pandemic happened. This poem is a collaboration of 24 participants from 20 different countries. And we are pleased to be joined by a small group of these alumni after the video for a conversation. So over to the video.
Everyone coughs, everyone laughs, everyone looks around and sometimes falls in love.
Every nose runs, whether white or black. Anyone can go to bed and wake up very sick.
Every heart hurts, every head aches.
Everyone who loses mom feels it in their bones.
Every throat sores, whether north or south. Anyone can go to bed and wake up sick.
And we can only hope that on that sickly night,
someone would be bringing up a bowl of pepper soup.
that we may not lay alone on our feverish bed.
For everybody prays to die with loved ones all around.
It's rooted in a place as old as tooth and claw.
As old as what is left of that our earliest ancestor.
That man survived the floods, the carnage, and the plagues.
Is rooted in the fact that we are social animals.
And so, a smile can heal, a nod can mend the broken.
A wave can wave despair away, bring the soul back to hoping.
That, when we fall, the family stands, a shield of flesh around us.
To blow into a roaring flame the warrior soul within us. It's rooted in the hands that grasp themselves in prayer.
The comfort that we deeply feel from a light hand on the shoulder, that down there in our deepest pain, a word can turn the lights on.
It's rooted in the fact that love can strengthen us to go on.
So isolate yourself, but leave your window open.
No need to cross the road in fear each time you see me coming. Our eyes are free to touch across this social distance.
That look of love will stem, not feed the spread of the virus.
Please isolate yourself, but not from your compassion. Not from this our common sense or common circumstance.
There is no us and them. You cannot save yourself.
Unless you think of how to keep the other person safe.
For everyone can cough and every head can ache.
And there will always be a reason why every heart will break. It is the way of life, whether you're white or black.
Anyone can go to bed and wake up very sick.
It was amazing. Thank you all. And we are so excited and honored to have many of the poets that you just saw in that video with us live today. And I want to make a special call out and welcome to Dike. He was the first individual that you saw in the video, and Dike is joining us today from Lagos, Nigeria. Dike, we just want to express to you on behalf of our entire community that we are standing with you in solidarity. I know it's a very, very challenging time for you and your nation, but just know that you can lean on this community as you work through and your country works through the challenges ahead of you. So I want to welcome Cynthia Willson, who is a Department of State liaison that was with this group when they were in the United States. And Cynthia is going to lead a conversation with the poets live today. Cynthia, over to you. They'll be joining us in just a moment.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hello, guys. How's everyone doing? Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, Cynthia. Now we can hear you.
And we can see the rest of the IVP members behind Cynthia.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great, Cynthia. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Okay,
we're just waiting for Sona.
Well, okay.
Do you have the number?
Dike is here.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Dike. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm well. How you guys doing? Good to see everyone. Almost everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, Sona.
Hello.
There you go.
So I joined you.
Hello, Sona.
Okay.
I think we can start, right?
Yes, we are ready, Cynthia.
I think so.
Okay. Well, we'll start. I'll introduce myself. I had the pleasure of traveling along with 4 other liaisons with this group, and they were very, very, very impressive, as you've already seen. I've been on contract now for 46 years. I think I was born with an insatiable desire and quest to learn more about people around the world. Now, my world and my information about the world comes firsthand from my friends. And it was interesting when this group came together in Washington. Our program team suggested showcasing their talent, but it wasn't in the program, and there wasn't any details fleshed out. But it was a great idea, and the talent needed to be showcased. I asked Querube if we might take advantage of a full moon. And then the rest is history. And together we confirmed the power of friendship and prayer. We found 24 African talking drums the day before the performance, and we chanted the moon out from behind the clouds, and we showcased the power of community in Dike's poem, Everyone Laughs. Now, let the others introduce themselves. Dike, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. My name is Dike. Yeah, I muted myself because there was some sound in the background. My name is Dike. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm a poet, and I write poetry around issues of identity, tolerance, inclusion. I come from a very diverse country, both ethnically and religiously. And that diversity, as much as it's an advantage, but it also has its disadvantages or troubles. So my work is centered around trying to build bridges across different communities. Thank you.
Querube.
Well, thank you for this amazing opportunity, Cynthia, and for inviting me. My name is Querube Elena Alvarado. I am from Panama, Central America, and I am a cultural and environmental project manager. I've been doing this now for almost 10 years. I create a nonprofit on environmental education programs for my country and for the region. And I create with my husband, that he's a musician, the Full Moon Full of Drums. And it was funny because in every meeting that we have in the program, we need to introduce ourselves in the beginning, right? All the fellows here, they know what we're talking about, right? So you repeat once and again who you are and what you do. So obviously in the full moon, everybody started talking like, okay, what we're gonna do today. This is a full moon, and you have been talking about the Full Moon Full of Drums. So yes, in here it's a big event in which we build this opportunity to just get together as people, breaking all types of barrier of language, of economic, society, of everything, and we just bring the people together, and they participate playing the drums with the band. So it's like an interactive concert that is going on every full moon here. And I have this great opportunity with the support of Cynthia, obviously, that so we can create this amazing moment with all the IBLP social change through the art program. And it was very amazing for me because that's what I'm doing. My artist side is to put artists together and make things happen. I really love and enjoy to do that. So it was like a gift for me to do that and to create that moment, and everything happened just magically. We just like have 5 days in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And in those 5 days, as Cynthia says, we found the African drummer, we found the 28 drums, we found the perfect spot in our hotel, and I create the program with all these amazing artists that we have in this group of social change through the arts. So thank you for that opportunity. And well, this is me.
And that really actually brought us together whenever you do a joint production, and you can call on the talent of everybody. But the idea for the poem, I often refer to, and we thank the State Department and Destiny for the opportunity to meet together. And then we thank Cultural Vistas for bringing us together again today as we celebrate our community that was created during those 3 weeks and showcase the talent of everybody. But the idea, the group was constantly in contact with everybody after the program and wanted to do something. And we explored, or the suggestion popped up that maybe we should sing. Sona rescued us. Sona and Irfadha rescued us. And Sona, why don't you explain it? Give us a little introduction to you and what you're doing, and then tell us about how Everyone Coughs came about.
Thank you, Cynthia, and thank you everyone else for having opportunity to do this wonderful project with you, and now being here presenting it to wider audience. So I'm Sona. I'm from Armenia, based in Yerevan, and I'm a film critic and film programmer working in Golden Apricot International Film Festival. That is one of the biggest film festivals in the region. And besides that, all my actions, projects, and everything is mostly connected to the cinema, because I personally believe that cinema is one of the strongest tools of making changes and helping people to learn more about each other. And it is not only about the people who are living in one country, but also intercultural, and international. Yes, and I always say that whatever happens in my life happens because of or due to cinema. And going back to our poem, that started, I think the idea came just at the beginning of March or middle of March, when everyone was in the same situation, which was really, really amazing thing to me. We all were quarantined at our homes and trying to be productive, or maybe not. So I got a message from Irfadha, and she told about this video that is being constantly circulated on Instagram, when people are singing. If I'm right, it was a song by John Lennon, or if I will.
Yeah, it was Imagine by John Lennon.
Yes, it was Imagine, yes. And I said that no, please don't, no. We can't shame ourselves, please. And so fortunately, Irfi was thinking the same, but I don't remember about your singing skills, So I can tell for you. And then we thought that, and at that point I was reading a book, T.S. Eliot, that we bought together, I think in Seattle, if I'm right. So, and I thought that maybe we can cite something. And then we discussed what it should be. And so then came the idea of creating a poem and citing that, not to choose something famous. So I think the other part will be said or told by Irfadha.
Thanks, Sona.
You go.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So, hi guys. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate this opportunity. And I'm Irfadha from Sri Lanka, but I'm currently located in Singapore. So, as someone who grew up during the peak of the Sri Lankan Civil War and witnessed up close the destruction, conflict that spawned from it, my primary lines of interest lies in exploring the architecture of an aftermath of a conflict and how I can contribute meaningfully and in a sustainable manner to the act of reconciliation with the tools I've employed as an art student and an interior designer. So I'm part of an initiative that's called the Building Bridges, which provides safe space for sustained dialogue and self-expression through creative art programs for young people around the island. So we believe that art is conducive to empathetic learning of understanding ourselves and the communities we share space with. So the idea or the poem was something that, as Sona mentioned, that came over to us in early April, where we were all getting acquainted with this term called COVID, and we were all under lockdown and we were living in unprecedented times. So one thing that stood out during all this chaos was people were turning to art to kind of get together, to find this solidarity within them. And like in our darkest days, we turned to artists. So it started at the epicenter in Wuhan. If you guys remember, people started singing to each other in the balconies. Then it was in Italy and Spain, and it just flooded all across social media. So this was something that took me back. It was nostalgic that as a tribe of 20 countries, we did it back in Santa Fe. We drummed under Full Moon Circle, thanks to Querube and to Cynthia and all of them. And I, as an individual, was craving for that kind of community spirit again. So I reached out to Sona, and then even though we were all scattered around the globe, we reached out to each other again to kind of honor this time-old ritual. And Dike so beautifully led us through his soulful words to reflect and revive and kind of release ourselves in this situation. So yeah, I would like to ask Dike to kind of explain more on this.
Thank you, Sona. You have the sort of the thread of the narrative. Sona reached out to me at some point and said, listen, we're thinking that the group should sort of recite a poem. Do you think you could write a poem that we could all recite? And I said, yeah, I can. And it was obviously a very unstable time. I was in transition myself, but it was something I immediately felt drawn to. Everybody was trying to make sense of the times, how to deal with it, how to respond to it. And there are some poems that take a while to craft. They're sort of intellectual and you have to think about it. And then there's some poems that just well out of your soul or your heart, and you don't really have to think about it too much. They seem to they seem to come fully formed. And that was the experience with writing this poem. It came fully formed and it felt right. The tone, the spirit, the soul, the energy of it felt right. And it had enough, it had enough to accommodate everybody in the group. There was something for everyone to say. So it was probably the energy of the whole group, because art is not just an intellectual thing, it's also a soulful thing, a spiritual thing. And when you're connected to the right muse or to the right creative centers, then you create easily. And so you can imagine to be creating in the context of this group of creative, empathetic, not just creative, but empathetic individuals who are all feeling these pains and feeding your creativity. So the poem came quite easily. And I wrote it and shared it with them and did a video of it, and everybody took their lines. And then, that wasn't enough. You still had to have someone to piece the poem together into a cohesive video, which was where Farzeen, our in-house video editor, came into her own. So I'll pass the baton on to Farzeen to tell the rest of the story.
Thank you, Dike. So my name is Farzeen Aziz. I'm from Pakistan, and primarily I'm a filmmaker, but since the start of COVID, I would call myself a multimedia artist. Right now, I just make paintings about mental ill health, COVID itself, and equine welfare. And as of today, I would like to tell you that I have won the scholarship by Health Systems Global. They have accepted my abstract for migration, gender, and health. So I'll be making a presentation in November, inshallah. So what
Congratulations, that's great.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very psyched myself. So what had happened in Santa Fe was that everybody was so excited about the Full Moon Circle when it was decided that this thing is going to be conducted. And I casually mentioned earlier that I had a DSLR camera. I didn't use it in the entire trip. And Cynthia and our other liaison officers, Barry, Cliff, they were also excited that, oh, this is just serendipity, you know, you have a camera, you are going to shoot it. And I was like, okay, you know, this is a big responsibility now. More than anything, it was more of, you know, having a saving face. So I did that, and it was just magical. And it took me months to compile that video. And after that, you know, it's all because of Cynthia. She was just like a catalyst, and it was so, and her support and her spirit was so infectious that, you know, I mean, that video went on to win an award from US Consulate. I mean, I won that, and I'm very eternally grateful. So when everybody decided to do this poem, I just jumped up at the opportunity. And I would agree with Sona, it was more to do with the fact that you wanted to be productive at the time because there was nothing else to do. So I just, you know, jumped onto the wagon, and I just, yes, I mean, I just made that video, and it came out beautifully. And I'm so, so grateful to Cultural Vistas and everybody for all their appreciation for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things that was a magic key for me and learning with this group was this group didn't come together to showcase their talent. They came to celebrate us. And these are artists committed to bringing about social change through the arts. It was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's the sound of perfection.
And I bow to the photographs in the background of all of the group.
And you know what, Cynthia, I just want to say that we, like, when we, I don't know if some of you, of the people that it's watching this conference right now, feel the same, but maybe when you read like the list of names, you don't know any face, and you may think, I don't know what I'm gonna have in common with all these people from all this part of the world, right? You may think that. And you know what is beautiful for all the people that is watching this, that all this group, we share one thing. And I fell in love of that feeling. We all have this like thing of life, you know, that flavor of life that we just want to explore and know more about life and people. And we enjoy so much that feeling that it doesn't matter where we are from, we share all that feeling of life. And I think that is what brought the group together. And from that point of the Full Moon Full of Drum, we just can like present ourselves just the way we are, with no labels at all. And that's what an artist needs, right? We need to express ourselves through our art. So from that, we were friends, right? But from that moment of the Full Moon Full of Drums, something magical happened with the group that we
I think the dynamics changed.
Right?
We turned into something, yes, we turned into something else entirely.
And
like
the group,
family, you know, soul
and
sisters and soul brothers. Yeah, over there.
And the group became known, their hallmark was the group hug. As you see in this picture.
That was so emotional. I was so emotional. Everyone will cry because that was our last night.
Oh, yes.
Like that.
But we proved the power of community by including everybody and the diversity of everyone. And we showcased what can happen when you have that freedom, that inclusion, and the diversity. And it was magical. And it continues. So we're on chapter 2. And others who are not on the call, Ibrahim did a world premiere of a song honoring his brother, his younger brother. We didn't know he could sing. We knew he was an excellent actor, producer, but we didn't know about his singing. Juan serenaded us. Uniad had us dancing Ethiopian steps at the end of the night, and Bedar closed with a yoga meditation to bring the night to close. And it was magical, and that magic continues. And so I'd like to extend the invitation to everybody, all of the alums of the IVLP program. We are a community, so share your talent, your ideas, and keep that celebration continuing.
Yes, and get in touch with your feelings. Your emotions lead you. So that night, that's what happened. Everybody showed their emotions. We were learning a lot here in our brains in all those days, but that night, we just get in touch with our feelings and we just share them. Dike through the poem, Ibrahim through the song, Junaid through the dancing. We also sing the South African song.
Yes, Titu. Yes, absolutely.
Right?
We fell in love.
Yes.
With her voice and then through the songs.
Right.
It was totally magical.
And then we close singing to the moon, and then the moon appears because we make that connection to the earth through our feelings. Talking, our feelings were just there, like in all that amazing moment. And then the moon show us, like when you connect yourself through your feelings, through your emotions, through the earth, and with the people around you, you can make pretty amazing things in the world. So I'm just grateful to be part of this amazing group. And for everybody that is watching, don't be afraid of your feelings, of your emotions. Artists, we create with that, sometimes crying, sometimes very happy, but we create because of that.
I think that sort of sums it all up, the entire experience that we all had. We connected, and out of that connection, we have created something together that is stronger than what we could have created as individuals. I think that's the whole point of making this intercultural or cross-cultural connections, that we are always better, always stronger together, always. Once we connect in the right ways, we are always better and stronger together. So thank you so much to Cultural Vistas and to the entire IVLP program. I would never have gotten to know these wonderful people, and also gotten, as a poet, to experience the pleasure of seeing your words multiply in the mouths of so many people from so many cultures. Like Querube said at the beginning, that when you look at the names, you wonder, will I find something in common with all these people? And then you realize, yes, you do. There is a common humanity. We laugh, we cry, we hope, we fear. We are bold, we are courageous, we reach, we stand. We do this wherever we are because we are human beings, and it is rooted in our humanity. And every time we connect with our humanity, we're able to connect with anybody from anywhere, whatever their gender, whatever their race, whatever their tribe, whatever their religion. When we connect with our humanity, we connect with everybody. So it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, thank you, Dike. That was incredible. as always.
But
You're shaman with words.
You make my skin like this, like I don't know how to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can feel the energy flowing.
Awesome.
Like art has a profound way of connecting us, right? And to reflect on this shared community experience. So like I'm always in awe at how the human spirit of solidarity comes alive through creative arts. So it's been incredible. It's such an incredible experience.
And actually we need to take advantage of the moment, right? Because in the middle of chaos is where humanity goes up, right? Is where humanity really flows. So everybody that is watching this, and even us, we create the poem, but you know, now that we are connected again and see our faces, what we can like keep working on together, building together, just because it's a perfect time. So because there is a lot of people in the world that may not know this feeling that for us is very regular, that we connect with ourselves, that we connect with our emotions. And I think this is the message that we need to spread, right? In terms of being a better human being, you need to first connect with that humanity that you have inside yourself, and then everything will flow, right? And sometimes the artist's path is not the logical path, right? It's not the path in which you're gonna do tons of money, or maybe you don't know how you're gonna do it. But if you follow the call and you do the best you can do with your tools, and you study and you put all your tools together, but with that main connection, for sure you will do amazing things in this world. And it's normal to be afraid.
So let's keep the celebration and the conversation continuing at Cultural Vistas, #CV benefit. Thank you all. This was awesome. I never know how the group is going to come together. And so it really is a people art. And you just see with this group, the talent was just phenomenal. So, and this is what we did. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. We love you.
Thank you, Cultural Vistas. Thank you.
Thank you, Cultural
Vistas.
Dike, stay safe, and Dike, stay safe.
Stay
safe.
Please.
Thank you. Well, I'll try.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you all. Really, I'm speechless just to hear each of yours experience with writing the poem, creating together, and then staying connected through this time. So I can't thank you enough for being with us today and sharing that humanity and reminding us about what really brings us all together. I've been thinking a lot about, particularly in the situation, what is the meaning of international exchange? And we often think about it as a one-time episodic event. But as you all remind us, it's really a process. It's a relationship that can and should endure over time, where we're constantly exchanging our experiences, our humanity with each other. And it's, it really is that powerful community that endures. So thank you for sharing that. Really, really grateful. We are going to share one more snippet of this incredible exchange program, the International Visitor Leadership Program, to just give you one more window into that community and that experience that builds through these exchanges.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Fadimatu Nuche Musimo, founder of the Young African Aviation Professional Association and IVLP 2016 alumni of the Global Leadership in International Aviation. In this tough moment of COVID, I would like to specially thank the Cultural Vista Global community for the opportunity that they have given us to be part of this great group. Our trip in the USA was of great success because I personally learned about the volunteering spirit and community involvement for the benefit of our communities, and have taken it back home, and now working on establishing the Yapa community centers to empower the people in the rural areas and those in the underprivileged to get more involved and implicated in the development of their communities. This thanks to my trip and my experience from people from different backgrounds with whom we spent an enriching moment in the US. I want to seize this opportunity to encourage all those who are part of this network across the world and tell them it's just a matter of time, things will be right back in place. I would like to thank the Cultural Vistas global community for their great initiative and involvement in bringing the world together. Thank you again, and I wish you all the best.
Hi everyone, my name is Pans Bamenga. I'm from the Netherlands and I work in the field of diversity and inclusion, human rights, migration and asylum. In 2016, I participated in the IVLP program, the current US social, political and economic issues for young European leaders. The impact of my experience into my work was really huge. I've broadened my view. I've reached a far broadened network. The experience was really life-changing. It gave me another perspective on things. And I've learned a lot about the United States and the transatlantic relations they have with Europe. Thank you, Cultural Vistas global community. It was really a great experience. I visited Washington, D.C., Seattle, New Orleans, and Salt Lake City, and Pittsburgh. And every city was really great to see and speak to the people who were there. Thank you very much for the wonderful experience, because I spoke to a lot of people who gave me a lot of knowledge on the situation of the United States. And I have to tell you, it made me today a far better leader. I encourage all of you who are interested to participate on the exchange to really do so. This will be your lifetime experience. This will be life-changing.
Hola a todos, soy Alejandra Serrate de Bolivia, pertenezco al departamento de Santa Cruz. En el año 2019 participé en IVLP, en el programa Women's as Drivers of Social and Economic Change. Participar en este programa para mí realmente fue un punto de inflexión en mi vida, en donde me di cuenta que la solidaridad no es solamente un acto aislado, sino una manera de vivir en sociedad y en tu comunidad. Quiero agradecer a Cultural Vistas por esta importante nominación que he recibido no solamente como boliviana, sino también como mujer. Agradecer al gobierno americano por brindarme esta espectacular experiencia, donde no solamente establecí conexiones muy cercanas a mi corazón, lo que ahora son amistades, sino también por enseñarme a trabajar por mi comunidad. Una experiencia que realmente he utilizado durante esta pandemia en mi país y en mi ciudad. Muchísimas gracias por esta oportunidad. Es un orgullo para mí recibir esta nominación.
Got a lot of peaches there.
No.
Georgia!
New Virginia.
Oh.
The one that's west of Virginia.
I think
Virginia.
I know. West Virginia. Oh, that one.
I know from the song, the West Virginia. Mountain Mama.
Yeah.
I know. I keep missing it. Say it again. Mountain Mama, like. Take me home. Take me home, country roads. Yeah. I know. Like Shenandoah River. Yes. Like Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yep.
What's
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah.
Older than the sea.
Older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads.
Okay, I'd love to have you all share kind of how you're feeling in the chat. What's on your mind? What inspired you? Give a little shout out. Let us know how you're feeling. Okay, so we are going to move into our food and culture segment. I know I'm a little hungry, so feel free to get up and get something to eat as we head into this next portion of our benefit today. So we all know that food is an important part of culture. In these moments when travel is limited, I know many of us are taking our passion for exploring other cultures into the kitchen. I'm sure quite a few of you have perfected your culinary skills during these months of isolation. Today, we're lucky to be joined by a real culinary master, Chef Bruce Barnes of Colby Hill Inn, a farm-to-table eco-retreat and dining destination in New Hampshire. We hope you received his recipe that we sent out last night. Chef Barnes is joined by our board member, Susan Stella, a strategic consultant in the private equity and venture capital industry, and an alum of the Robert Bosch Foundation Fellowship Program. So let's get cooking.
Hi, hello, Vigates, and welcome. My name is Bruce Barnes, and I'm here in beautiful Henniker, New Hampshire, and I'm here with my friend Susan Stella.
Thank you so much, Chef Barnes. I'm Susan, and I am a Bosch 20 alum on the board of Cultural Vistas and also chair of the development committee, and really appreciate Chef Barnes allowing us into his kitchen today. And in the wise words of Anthony Bourdain, who I believe Chef Barnes knew and we're all greatly inspired by, he once said, "Food may not be the answer to world peace, but it's a start."
Definitely.
The world over, the global pandemic has affected us all and transformed the way that we eat, the way we procure our food, the essential nature of our food supply, and more importantly, our ability to enjoy it together in groups of family and friends and with strangers who become our family and friends.
Exactly. And you know, we in the food industry are also faced with a crisis, and this crisis is how on food procurement and how to procure food sustainably, and also how do we offer a living wage to our employees. You know, that's why I'm so inspired by your awardees this year. You know, through my years of cooking, I living in New York at my restaurant Harvest, and then going down to the World Bank, where I was for 10 years, I was really inspired by their mission of ending global poverty and hunger. And I really am inspired this year by your this year's award winners at Cultural Vistas. So I'm really deeply honored on being here today.
Thank you so much for having all of us into your kitchen. And I have to just say that given that you are multilingual, a true globetrotter, and can literally cook anything in the world, you not only make sure to source locally, but today you're sharing with us something really personal. You're sharing a special family recipe, and would love a little background on the origin before we head into the kitchen.
Exactly. This is Oma's and Babushka's pierogies, German on one side, Slavic on the other. Pierogies have always been something special that's been prepared around the holidays for me, and I've always, in all the restaurants that I've had, I've kind of taken this little bit of my family, which brings joy to me to the dining room. So what I've done, I've gone from the traditional fillings to preparing it with locally sourced and more seasonal produce. So I'm really excited to share this recipe with you, and especially for those of you over in Europe. I hope you enjoyed this American take on the pierogi.
Great.
Are you ready to go into the kitchen?
Let's go.
Awesome.
See you there.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome to my kitchen, and I'm here with Susan, and we're going to start the dough for the pierogi. So I'm starting mine in my KitchenAid. For those of you who don't have a KitchenAid at home, the dough is simply made by adding in a mixing bowl by adding your wet ingredients to your dry and forming a nice firm dough. So right now, what I will do, I'll start with our flour. We pre-weighed all this out. Add the flour, and then what I like to do to make it a little bit easier, I will take all of my wet ingredients. So we have, if you're following on the recipe, we have sour cream. We'll add the sour cream to this bowl. We add our milk. 1 egg.
Where do you get your eggs from?
Those are from my own chickens.
How many chickens?
I have 30.
Excellent.
30 chickens. And we're going to add our butter here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to whisk this together so it's incorporated. And I'm going to form a small well in the flour and the mixing stand. And we'll add the wet ingredients. So I'm going to start with the paddle. And we're going to start this on low until the dough becomes incorporated. And once it's incorporated, it is going to form a rather sticky dough. So what I will do, we're going to change this out to a hook. Yeah. And depending on your flour, it could be sometimes the gluten in your flour could be make you have a stiff dough. If it's too stiff, you can add a little bit more milk, and if it's too wet, you will add a little bit more flour. And as this one is a little bit wet, I'm going to add just a touch more flour to it. Right over here. Sorry about that. And we're going to add a little bit of flour. So I've added a little bit more flour to it, and we have a nice soft dough here. What we're going to do, we're going to put this onto a floured surface, and we're going to gently knead the dough. From there, so the dough is ready. If you can see, it's come together. It's a nice soft dough. Nice and smooth. What we'll do is we're actually going to cover this and refrigerate it for about 30 minutes. And then while that's refrigerating, we're going to make our stuffing. So we're going to come over here to our stuffing. We're doing sweet potato, apple, goat cheese. So I have baked these sweet potatoes. I don't boil them because when you're making the stuffing for the pierogi, you want the pierogi stuffing to be rather thick or rather durable, you know. So I actually bake the sweet potatoes off and just basically pull the jackets off and push it into the bowl. We also have, I pre-sauteed some of our apples here. These apples are from Gould Hill Farm. Just a little bit of brown butter and some sugar. And we have our goat cheese from Sunset Rock Farm. And I have our spice mix, and I have our maple syrup. So I'm going to do this in our RoboCoupe. We'll be adding the sweet potatoes. And we have our goat cheese pre-measured. And what I'll do is, since that's already in there, I'm going to just give it a nice little pulse to get the cheese incorporated with the potato. Pull that off just so you can take a look right there. So it's starting to just get incorporated. At this point, I like texture in my pierogies, so I'm going to add the apples. They're all nice. They're diced. They're nice and soft.
Would you say that all of the ingredients have been sourced within 30 minutes of holding the line?
Within 30 minutes, yes. Even down to the maple syrup. So again, I'm going to just keep pulsing this. If you don't have a RoboCoupe, you can just do it the old school way and just mash it by hand.
That's what I do.
At this point in time, I'm going to push the ingredients a little bit farther down into the RoboCoupe. And we're going to do a final seasoning with our maple syrup, just to give it a little sweetness. Our spice mix.
So did you use all the spices, or is it just kind of to taste?
It's a spice to taste. So it's about, I said in the recipe about 5 grams. It's like a pinch each on them. And I'm a chef, I never measure.
I'm not a chef, I always measure.
So we're going to just incorporate this. We're going to puree it a little bit more until it's smooth. And then voila, we have our stuffing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna let this refrigerate as well. And then we're gonna move on to rolling out our dough and actually forming the pierogies.
Before we do, I just wanted to ask you, what were the pierogies made with? What were the fillings when you were a kid that are a little different than this?
Well, it would be either sour cream and mushroom sauerkraut and mushroom, the traditional farmer's cheese and potato. And then also depending on the season, if it was springtime, summertime, we would have the blueberry with farmer cheese or strawberry with farmer cheese.
So like a dessert.
Almost like a dessert. And those would be just like lightly boiled and served with butter. And really, really good.
So kind of like a crepe has a savory version and a sweet version.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Similar. Yeah,
Exactly.
Sounds great.
So, all right, well, let's roll our dough out.
Wonderful. Let's go.
So here we have our dough, and I have dusted it with some flour. It is a little bit sticky. It's very important to have a well-floured surface. So Susan, I'm going to have you do the honors and roll out dough for us.
All right, we'll see.
All right, so we're going to get this about a quarter of an inch to about an eighth of an inch thick. So you're going to just keep rolling. That's great. You see how nice and smooth that dough is?
Oh my gosh, it's so easy to roll.
Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful dough.
You look like you want to jump in here because
No, I'm
I'm
just
not a pro
watching.
roller,
No, you're doing great.
even though I'm a really
Let me
good
just
pierogi eater.
Take a look at. So yeah, we're about, and see how like nice and smooth that is, and just it's easy to work with. We're right there. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have you do like 1 or 2 more rolls.
Get it even.
Get it even.
Trying.
There you go. That's fine. So I like big pierogies. So we're gonna use.
And you're not shy about it.
This is our, no, I'm not. So this is our the cutter from our this ring mold. This is like the first size down. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go through the dough, and we're going to just all the way through. And the dough might pull back a little bit. Don't worry about it. It's pretty forgiving. Punch these out. You're going to be doing some prep for my restaurant.
Great. No, I love it.
A little bit of free labor here.
I love
All
it.
right,
I love
so here we go. So we're going to take this excess dough. We're going to pull this up, and what I'll do is I'll put this off to the side, and we'll re-roll it for some more pierogies. So there we go, and we're going to start stuffing them now. So now we're going to stuff our pierogies. We have them rolled out. We're going to work quickly. We use my little handy dandy scoop here. We're going to do a small scoop.
Why do we work quickly? Is it the dough going to get
the dough gets a little sticky. So this dough has, with the butter and the milk, if it starts to warm up, it's going to get a little sticky. So I like to work really fast. I'm going to get these going. So the traditional way, or the way that I was taught, holding it in 2 hands. And we're going to pull, gently stretch, and we're going to let that dough fall, right? Pinch. And if you can pinch it without using water, it's fine. Usually I like to use a little bit of water.
I feel like I'm on an episode of Nailed It. and I nailed it.
And you nailed it, absolutely. This one was filled a little, got a little bit of stuffing coming out. But we're going to just go along the sides here and pinch, 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 and pat, 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 pat.
Well, this looks delicious. Okay.
That's beautiful. Show them.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm super
better than mine.
excited.
Mine's all full.
So I admit, and I was going to tell you this story. So first of all, I think pierogies are so amazing to me because it links together sort of that global notion of boats, which is a Mongolian, some pierogi, dim sum. What else is there?
Ravioli.
There's ravioli or calzones.
Calzone.
Like the global idea of this wonderful food with different delicious fillings that kind of bring families together.
Absolutely. No, I love it too.
But I have to say, this is like much easier than making the Mongolian version of it, which is.
You'll have to make that for me.
It's really hard. It's really hard, and it's the filling is not this. It's no offense to any Mongolian viewers, but it's an acquired taste. Okay, so I think I failed on this one, so I was way too arrogant.
See, yeah, okay,
Yeah, I
again,
totally messed
just
up.
all the way down.
Yeah, it's like pulling out of the side. So.
Yeah, we also may have told them. Don't get frustrated. It takes a little practice, and
I think it's still gonna taste good. That's the
tastes
upside.
delicious. So, and I'm gonna seal that up just with a little bit of water.
It's a make it work moment. It's kind of,
It's getting there. One more time. Yeah. Up. Down. So this is it's a little bit of a laborious task here, but what we're going to do after we get these pierogies put together, I like to chill them because the dough is, like I said, the dough is a very delicate dough. It's starting to melt a little bit. I'm going to chill them. We're going to bring a pot of water up, and there's several schools about how to cook your pierogies. Some people will just boil them and serve them right out of the pot, boiled with butter or whatever they're going to serve it with, just boiled pierogies. I like mine sauteed or fried. We're going to fry ours, but I'm not going to, what I like to do with that, I like to parboil them. I mean, actually boil them and then fry them. So we're going to take a break. We're going to let these chill. We're going to boil them, and then we're going to plate our pierogies, and we'll go from there.
Great.
We've parboiled our pierogies, and now I like mine fried. Traditionally, like I said, people traditionally either eat them boiled straight with the butter, or my grandmother would saute them in butter. I fry them. I like with this dough. I just the crispness that comes out of the, as you can see. I'll show you in a minute. So we're going to let these just finish up. We're going to get a little bit of color on them. And what we're going to do, we're going to have Susan, I'm going to have you, we're going to set our plate for serving. So the way we serve these in the restaurant, I have fresh sour cream. We're going to top them with some caramelized onions and some bacon. So I'll set my plate, and then Susan, I'll let you do yours. So we're going to, so you can wow your friends. So we're going to start with a little plop of sour cream right here at the base of your plate. Like that. There you go. Then we're going to take our handy dandy little offset. You can just use the back of the spoon. We're just going to do a nice little smear. Like that. There you go. Okay. Nice golden brown. Move them. See how you can see how golden. If you want to pick those up and show them how nice and flaky they've got.
What kind of oil do you use?
This is pure canola oil that I use right now. So I just, there you go. I'm just using straight canola oil. Just got them nice and golden brown. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on them, a little bit of pepper.
Oh my God, this smells so good.
Put those down there, and then we're going to grab our plating tongs. Right like that. There you go. Go. Perfect. And we're going to finish it up with a little bit of, I have some caramelized onions just on the side. Down there on the bottom of the plate.
This is what the onions look like.
Finally, a little sprinkling of bacon. Bacon.
I think bacon kind of goes with everything,
And
honestly.
especially
So you really do have like a salty, sweet.
salty, sweet. There you go. And our finished product, and we're going to enjoy these in a minute with a really fabulous wine off of our menu.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Hope you guys enjoy. We've finished our pierogies. Susan and I are going to try and enjoy them with a really nice wine. We have a globally inspired wine list here at my restaurant. This is actually a Rotkeepe from Austria, from Heinrich Hartel Weingut. And it's a very, it's an incredible wine. It has flavors of red apple and a little bit of earthiness to it. I think it pairs greatly with the sweet potatoes and the saltiness of the bacon. I really want to thank you all for coming into my kitchen. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy this recipe. And I wish you all much happiness, and please stay healthy and let's all get through this. And I'm going to hand it off to Susan, and we're going to toast.
And we'll toast. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Prost.
Prost. Thank you for joining Chef Barnes and I at and making pierogies. We hope you enjoyed it. Before beginning the global trivia competition, I have the wonderful honor of thanking all of those who have supported our event today. This year's benefit makes an even bigger impact as it includes our friends and supporters from all over the world. First, I'd like to thank the immense generosity of our top donors at the champion level. I am proud to say they are also all board members. Roy and Melissa Salome, Aslam Masood and Kaba Fusion, and Philip Lowinger. Thank you. Next, at the ambassador level, thank you so much to our chairman of the board, Jeffrey Renke. Your unwavering leadership over this challenging year has been greatly appreciated. Thank you, fellow board member, Kendra Marisol, and thank you to Open Horizon, the foundation of board member Lisa Cohen and her partner, Herschel Kleinberg. Barry Appelman and Leiden, thanks Dave, who's also a fellow board member. And finally, many thanks to my team, Ridge Ventures in San Francisco. Thanks, team. Next, I'd like to thank our changemaker level, Naoto Murai from JIPT, our partner in Japan and one of our 2018 Global Partnership Award recipients. Thank you to the American Corporate Benefits. That's one of our Korea West host companies. Thanks for supporting so many of our interns from Korea. Charles Meyer and Metadata. Thank you, Charles, for all of the support that you've given. A shout out to my fellow board member, Sharon Che-Haver. Thank you, Sharon. Alpha Fellowship Program. This is a fellowship program to Russia that celebrated 15 years in 2020 and has brought together a cohort of their alumni today. We're so glad to have you. Thanks for your participation and support. Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Together with Cultural Vistas board member and co-founder of TMCF, Dr. Joyce Payne. We have a number of participants from their Leadership Academy with us, and we're excited about our future global leadership program together. Thank you all for being here, and thanks to Dr. Payne and Dr. Williams, president at TMCF, for your commitment to global engagement. We're ecstatic to be working with you. And finally, thank you so much to our friends who are at the friends level. This includes many alumni and board members as well. First, many thanks to fellow board member, Ambassador James Lambert. Thank you, Jamie. My fellow Bosch 20 alum friend, Adam Hunter. Thank you for your ongoing support. Robert Fenstermacher, another Bosch alum and dedicated Cultural Vistas supporter. Maribeth Gaynard and Hal Goltz. Maribeth is a Bosch alum, and thanks to her, Rob and Adam, alongside Alumni Council members Cordell Carter and Ludmila Batista, have sponsored tickets for the 2020-21 final cohort of the Bosch Fellowship Program in Germany. CBYX alumni are also here. 2018 Alumni Impact Awardee Bruce Marsh, on behalf of his cohort from 1995-96. Thank you, Bruce. Nancy Mencia, also on the Alumni Council, and her CBYX cohort celebrated their 20th anniversary this year. Congratulations. Candace Greenblust. Candace is a new donor and we welcome her warmly. We look forward to working with you for many years, Candace. Megan Bishop Moore, who is a part of the CBYX network and supporter of Cultural Vistas and all things global. Thank you. Richard LeBaron, a longtime supporter and our partner and DC office mate, Global Ties US. Thanks, Richard. Megan and Maurice Ba. Megan is Cultural Vistas' fearless CFO. Thank you, Megan, for your tireless work, and Maurice for always supporting it. Jackie Renner, fellow board member, and David Craig. Jackie donated today's ukulele, and we thank you so much, David, also for supporting Cultural Vistas for many years. Our newer board member, Rika Grennan, welcome aboard, and we are thrilled to have your support. Thank you. And last, but certainly not least, dear friend and CEO of Cultural Vistas, Dr. Jennifer Clinton. We are so grateful for your leadership through this unprecedented year, and we so very much appreciate all that you do. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. And again, thanks to all of our supporters for helping us develop today's events and yesterday's events, and continuing to sustain us through some challenging times. So now we're going to take a 5-minute break. Feel free to stretch your legs, go get another snack, and we will reconvene back at, let's say, 1:25. And then we're going to start our global trivia competition. So take a break and we'll see you back in a few. We're going to get started in about a minute as we welcome our host of our global trivia competition. My good friend and colleague, Christopher Washington, joining us from Columbus, Ohio. Great to see you.
It's great to see you too.
How are things there?
Oh, beautiful. You know, under the circumstances, of course.
Yeah.
Things are going quite well.
Good. Okay, so now is the moment many of us have been waiting for, our global trivia competition. As I mentioned, the competition will be hosted by Dr. Christopher Washington, who is the Executive Vice President and Provost at Franklin University in Columbus, Ohio. Dr. Washington has traveled all over the world on behalf of Franklin University to build long-standing academic partnerships. In his spare time, which I know he doesn't have much of, he also chairs the board of directors of our sister organization, Global Ties US. He is a true advocate for international education and exchange, and really a great friend. I do want to show you, to get your competitive juices flowing, the CF Martin ukulele, our grand prize award here. So be inspired to win that. So welcome, Dr. Washington. I'll have you kick us off.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for fun, learning, and a bit of healthy competition? Well then, welcome to the Global Trivia Contest. You know, Jennifer already introduced me, but I also tell you that I've been involved in international exchange programs for over 20 years now. In my local community here in Columbus, Ohio, we have the International Visitors Council, and we host a number of IVLPs from all around the world here in Columbus. And I've been a community volunteer for 20 years and a member of the board for almost 10 years. And I had the wonderful distinct pleasure, really, to visit Global Ties US and to be home hosted by Jennifer and her family during one of my visits. And I tell you, she was an excellent model for how home hosting should go. And I've been hooked in volunteering at a national level ever since that engagement. And as just a fun fact, I've probably visited 30 countries in the last 10 years. So I really love international relations and traveling and engaging people, culture, and food, which it was great to see that today. Before we get started, I want to provide a few details on how this competition is going to work and some basic expectations. So the trivia contest will be run using AHA slides, which you can access online using your mobile device, laptop, or desktop. In order to begin this competition and to participate, you have to go to ahaslides.com/CV Awards to get set up. It just takes a moment. If you have technical issues, I ask that you message the team at Cultural Vistas at events@culturalvistas.org, and they will do their best to help. The winner of the Global Trivia Competition will receive that beautiful CF Martin OXK ukulele that Jennifer displayed, valued at $449, folks. The ukulele is a beloved instrument that can be heard in musical genres around the world. And CF Martin is known worldwide for their craftsmanship and quality sound. So that's for the first place winner. The second place winner will receive a year-long premium membership from our trivia sponsor, AHA Slides. So you'll be able to run interactive events, presentations, and quizzes using AHA Slides. Plus, you will receive a copy of Fareed Zakaria's new book, 10 Lessons for the Post-Pandemic World. Who wouldn't want that? I think it was an exceptional presentation yesterday. Now, for those of you coming third and fourth place, you will each receive a year-long premium AHA Slides membership. Very good. So when you go to ahaslides.com/CV Awards, you'll be asked to enter your name and choose an avatar. Please enter your first initial plus last name. So for example, my name is Christopher Washington. I'm going to enter C. Washington so that we can determine the winner at the end. Okay, are you ready? Let's give everyone just a moment until the number of players matches the number of people who are ready. And we'll monitor that. I think, are we ready? We're still waiting on players to join.
Still waiting on a few more players. And if you didn't catch the link in the chat, it's there. And the code to join is CV Awards.
CV Awards is our code. Oh, we have quite a few players that are ready for fun and competitive spirit. Jennifer, I think this is going to be a tough competition. I had a chance to, I've traveled all over the world, and I had a chance to look at some of these questions. It's going to be quite a challenge.
It is challenging. We knew how smart our audience is, so we didn't want to make it easy.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Still have a couple more players joining.
We'll give them a little time to add in.
So Christopher, what's the last country that you were in and when?
I was in Poland just before the pandemic hit, doing some presentations there, visiting a city called Poznan, which is sort of northwest, about 3 hours from Berlin, where I think you have offices.
We do. I've been to Poznan. It's beautiful. I didn't realize it was the home birthplace of Angela Merkel's father, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
Should have included that as a trivia question.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're ready to go, Christopher.
I think we're ready to go, folks. Remember, once you select your answer, you must click on submit for it to be recorded. So are you ready? We're going to get started here. At this time, I will go over a few, some game information for you. There will be 5 normal rounds and 2 lightning rounds. You'll have 20 seconds to answer each question in the normal rounds, 15 seconds in the lightning round 1, and 10 seconds in lightning round 2. And I can tell you that the lightning rounds is where a lot of the action is going to happen, folks. Most questions are worth 100 points. However, there are a few questions worth 150 points. You will be notified which questions are worth more points, okay? And if you have any technical issues, I will remind you, go to events@culturalvistas.com. At this time, I want to go over a few of the game rules, okay? We are playing on an honor system. This competition relies on an honor system, so please do not use the help of search engines to find your answers or play as a team. Only 1 prize will be awarded per qualifying entry. If you have any technical issues, events@culturalvistas.org. Okay, it looks like we're ready to go into round 1. And our first category is travel and transportation. Let's play. I'm going to read the full question to you, and then you'll have time to respond. In terms of total number of passengers, which airport was the world's busiest in 2019? Was it Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson, Beijing Capital, London Heathrow, or Istanbul International? Time's up. We have quite a few responses across the category. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson, right here in the US, the busiest airport, according to in 2019. How about that? Let's move on to our next question. As of 2020, which 2 countries are currently tied for having the most UNESCO World Heritage sites at 55 sites each? Is it Egypt and France, Germany and Italy, France and China, or China and Italy? It's an interesting question. Lots of wonderful sites around the world, but time's up. Oh, wow. It looks like a number of our participants got this one right. It is China and Italy, ladies and gentlemen, with the most UNESCO sites at 55 each. The next question is worth 150 points. It's a great time for you to catch up if you've missed the first two questions. For which J1 visa category is Cultural Vistas not a designated program sponsor? Intern, teacher, trainee, or research scholar? Which category is Cultural Vistas not a designated program sponsor? You have 1 second. Time's up. It looks like a number of you got this one correct. It's research scholar. So Cultural Vistas has the J1 visa for intern, teacher, and trainee situations and sponsorship. Let's go on to our next question. Based on United Nations World Tourism Organization data, which country welcomed the most foreign visitors in 2018? Was it Italy, the United States, China, or France? Wow, there's some really big countries in this list and places I'd love to go and visit. You have 3 seconds. Time's up. A number of people thought the United States, but you know what? The correct answer is France. France actually had 89 million international visitors in 2018. Let's go on to our next question. Who made up the first group to participate? Who made up the first group to participate in the International Visitor Leadership Program? Was it 130 Latin American journalists back in 1940, 50 Soviet artists in 1962, 25 West German engineers back in 1947, or 4 Chinese singers in 1932? This is an interesting one. Actually, it was 130 Latin American journalists in 1940. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the IVLP program, ladies and gentlemen, that we're celebrating. So here's a global fact that I think you should know that relates to our next question. The machete de Braga is a 4-stringed instrument that inspired the creation of the ukulele in the 19th century. Let's go on to our question. Question number 7. From which country did the machete de Braga originate? Was it Spain, Cuba, Portugal, or Brazil? From which country did the machete de Braga originate? All right, we have our answers registered. Time's up, and most people indicated Portugal. If you indicated Portugal, you're correct. That's the right answer. The machete de Braga originated in Portugal. Now that ends the round 1, folks, and I'm excited to take a look and see where we stand on our leaderboard. Looks like Daniel Wang is out in front, followed by Kwalek, Imdamer, our cats, and bringing up 5th place, E. Boniface. And in close 6th, Howard E. All right, folks, we have a leaderboard and a challenge ahead of us here, going in round 2. I'm going to offer up a world fact to set up our next question, ladies and gentlemen. Only 4 different countries have won the Rugby World Cup. I should tell you that our category is sports and competitions. In this category, here's your fact. Only 4 different countries have won the Rugby World Cup since it began in 1987. 3 have won it multiple times. Let's go on to our question. Which of these 4 countries has only won the Rugby World Cup once? Was it Australia, England, New Zealand, or South Africa? 3 countries have won it multiple times. Only 1 country's won it once. All right, looks like our answers have come in. Time's up. What country? We have a lot who believe it was South Africa. If you said South Africa, not this time. The correct answer is England. England's only won the cup once. Let's move on to our next question, which relates to a very special group of athletes. How many athletes have won medals in both the Winter and the Summer Olympics? Is it 9, 22, 5, or 17? Wow, both the Winter and Summer Olympics. That's pretty interesting. Now, time's up. We have a number of folks believe that it was 9, a number of 17. The correct answer is 5. This is a rare category, folks, 5 people. And let us show you the list of folks who've won it and in what sports. I personally remember the great Lauren Williams of the USA winning in both sprinting and bobsled. She was a wonderful American sprinter. I'm a big fan of track and field and have a daughter who was an All-American in track and field who admired Lauren Williams quite a bit. Let's move on to our next question. Which South American country, which South American country hosted the first FIFA World Cup in 1930? Was it Uruguay, Ecuador, Brazil, or Argentina? Football or soccer. Which South American country hosted the first FIFA World Cup in 1930? Time's up. That's correct, Uruguay, for most of you. And in fact, Uruguay also won that first competition. Their national team won that first competition. So fantastic. Now this next question, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal. It's worth 150 points. Here we go. Since it began in 1956, we'll let the question catch up to us. Since it began in 1956, 52 countries have participated in the Eurovision Song Contest. Which country is the most recent addition to this list? Is it Israel, Bermuda, Australia, or Turkey? The Eurovision Song Contest. Which country is the most recent addition to the list? Time's up. Oh, we kind of equally balanced in our responses. Could it be Israel, Bermuda, Australia, Turkey? It is actually Australia is the most recent addition to the list. Kudos to those who got that one right. All right, question number 12. Which of the following sports was invented by the indigenous people of North America? Right? Was it cricket, curling, lacrosse, or tennis? A sport invented by the indigenous people of North America. You have 5 seconds. Looks like our answers are in, and we have a lot who believe it was curling, but the correct answer is actually lacrosse. Lacrosse was created by the indigenous people of North America. Here's a global fact about lacrosse. It is one of the oldest team sports in North America. Games could involve hundreds of players, last for days, and be played across an area of up to 6 miles. Could you imagine televising an event like that today? Ah, it's amazing. This marks the end of round 2. Let's take a look at our leaderboard again and see who's in the top 5. Daniel Wang is holding on to a lead here, folks. We got to catch that guy if you're in second place. Mari Robles, we have someone in close second. Looks like Nicole joins our list of leaders. How about that? And Bonnie and Michael have jumped up onto the leaderboard and tied for 4th with our cats. All right, folks, we have a great competition going on here based on our leaderboard. We have a unique round that I'm really excited about. It's round 3, which is going to focus on women of the world. Let's go to our first question. Which of these African countries currently has a female head of state? Is it Cameroon, Botswana, Ethiopia, or Madagascar? Female head of state. Two, one. Our answers are in. Let's see. If people guessed correct, we have a lot who noted Botswana and some Madagascar, Cameroon, and then Ethiopia. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is actually Ethiopia. A couple people got that one right. Sahle Work Zewde is actually the first woman to hold the office of president in Ethiopia. A career diplomat, she was elected unanimously by members of the Federal Parliamentary Assembly on October 25th, 2018. Let's move on to our next question in this round. Queen Elizabeth II is currently the longest reigning monarch in British history. How many years has she sat on the throne? Is it 70 years, 59 years, 68 years, or 62 years? Queen Elizabeth II. Time's up. Let's see how many had this one correct. We have a lot of Crown watchers here. The Crown, 68 years, that's correct. That's the correct answer. Given her longevity, I suspect that means we'll have at least a few more seasons of The Crown to watch. Let's move on to our next question. As the director of the American Civil Liberties Union Women's Rights Project, Ruth Bader Ginsburg argued 6 gender discrimination cases before the Supreme Court. How many of those cases did she win? Was it all 6, 5, 4, or 3? Time's up. So we have a number of folks who said 5, some said all 6, 4. The correct answer is, in fact, 5. She won 5 of those 6 cases that she argued before the Supreme Court. Great. This next question will enable some folks to move around the leaderboard. It's worth 150 points. Here's your question. Isabel Allende, the world's most widely read Spanish language author, was born in which country? Was it Peru, Chile, Argentina, or Venezuela? Time's up. What did you say? Was it Peru, Chile, Argentina? A lot of you believe Chile. She actually was born in Peru. How about that? Although I'd like to mention she is Chilean. She was born in Lima, Peru, but her father worked at the Chilean embassy there. She was born. It's a little bit of a trick question. Next question, question 17. Which Kenyan environmentalist and founder of the Green Belt movement was the first African woman to be awarded a Nobel Prize? Was it Miriam Makeba, Isabel dos Santos, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, or Wangari Maathai? Time's up. The correct answer, as so many of you guessed, is Wangari Maathai. That's correct. I think round 3 is over now. It's time for us to go back to our leaderboard. Let's see who's in the top 5. Daniel, man, you are just hanging tight there at first place. Nicole is just jumping over the board here. I'm quite impressed. Mari Rubles, we have a good competition going, folks. Nicole has jumped into second place. Quite an impressive performance. Daniel's holding on to the lead though, folks. This guy must be doing some amazing traveling around the world. Get to know all these wonderful facts. Let's it's that time that we move on to round 4. And in round 4, we're going to deal with geography and global politics. Let's go to our first question. What trade agreement replaced the failed Trans-Pacific Partnership after the United States withdrew? Was it the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, the Pan-Pacific Free Trade Pact, or the Transnational Agreement on Pacific Trade? What trade agreement replaced the failed Trans-Pacific Partnership? Time's up. See how you responded. There's a variety of responses here. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership. The next question, question 19, is going to favor those of you who are ice cream lovers like myself out there. Cocoa, papaya, and vanilla are all foods that originate in which region of the world? Mexico and Central America, Indonesia, the Amazon, or West Africa? Cocoa, papaya, and vanilla originate in which region of the world? Time's up. Oh, we have a variety of responses here. Was it the Amazon? Actually, no, it was in Mexico and Central America. It's the correct answer. All right. Let's move on to our next question. Question 20. Which of these countries shares a land border with only one other country? Is it Gabon, Azerbaijan, Moldova, or Lesotho? Shares a land border with only one other country. Time's up. I think a lot of folks know this one. It's Lesotho. Yeah, it's actually encircled by the country of South Africa. Let's move on to our next question. Question 21. Many countries around the world have a national anthem. Which country boasts the longest national anthem, coming in at 158 stanzas? Is it Greece, Canada, Uganda, or Japan? The longest national anthem, 158 stanzas. Time's up. Looks like we have a lot of folks who believe this is Japan, but the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, no, it's not Uganda. It's Greece. Greece has a national anthem, 158 stanzas. That is one marathon way of kicking off a baseball game, if you ask me. Let's move on to our next question, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes referred to as Africa's last remaining absolute monarchy, this country recently changed its official name in English to Eswatini. Is it South Sudan, Swaziland, the Democratic Republic of Congo, or Tanzania? And time's up. What do you think? Oh, a lot of people believe it's Swaziland. That is actually the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen. Swaziland. That completes round 4. Let's revisit our leaderboard. Oh my goodness, Bonnie and Michael. You know, I think they're going after you, Daniel. Nicole, you're right there in second place with them. This is going to be quite a competition coming into the home stretch. Looking forward to see what happens in the next round. We are moving into round 5. Daniel's still holding on tight, man. It's just impressive. Round 5, our category is the world today. Now, we will set up our next question with this global fact. Every country in the world has an assigned top-level domain, or TLD, for their websites. The websites from that particular country. For example, UK.UK is for the United Kingdom, .de is for Germany, etc. Here's your question. Which country that no longer exists has a TLD in operation today with over 100,000 registered domains? Is it Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, East Germany, or the Soviet Union? TLD that's still in operation today, the country no longer exists. It had 100,000 registered domains. Time's up. Oh, we have a variety of responses here. Quite a few believe it's Yugoslavia, and some, quite a few believe it's the Soviet Union. It is actually the Soviet Union, ladies and gentlemen, with 100,000, over 100,000 registered domains still active today. Let's move on to our next question. Question 24. In 2019, Cultural Vistas hosted the Advancing Long-Term Leadership Initiative, the Ally Summit, in the world's largest city by population. Which is it? Is it Mumbai, Mexico City, Lagos, or Tokyo? The largest city by population, which is it? Time's up. Most people think it's Mumbai, but the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is Tokyo in Japan. This next question could be an opportunity for you to move up the leaderboard. It's worth 150 points. According to the CIA World Fact Book, ladies and gentlemen, which country boasts the most languages spoken in a single country at over 800 languages? Is it Papua New Guinea, Nigeria, Indonesia, or India? Over 800 languages. Time's up. Most people think India. You know, I thought India too, but India only has 22 formal languages spoken. Papua New Guinea, on the other hand, has over 800 languages. And I suspect there are quite a few dialects in India, but that's the answer, Papua New Guinea. Next question. Which country produces the most coffee beans in the world today at nearly 2.6 million metric tons per year? Is it Vietnam, Colombia, Ethiopia, or Brazil? Lots of coffee there. That's a lot of Starbucks, ladies and gentlemen. Is it Vietnam, Colombia, Ethiopia, or Brazil? Time's up. We believe that the coffee is coming from Colombia, but in fact, Brazil is the correct answer to this question. Produces the most coffee beans in the world today. Great, let's move on to the next question. The capital city of Kazakhstan was renamed Nur-Sultan in 2019, the fourth time the city has been renamed. What was this city's very first name? Was it Astana, Kaliningrad, Akmolensk, or Almaty? The correct answer is Akmolensk. A lot of variation on that one. That's going to separate some folks. Let's go to question 28. The current population of the world is 7.8 billion people. In what year did the world population surpass 7 billion people? Was it 2006? Just back here in 2018, in 2001, or in 2012? At what point did the population surpass 7 billion people? Time's up. It looks like a number of you said 2012. And if you said 2012, well, you are correct. You know, in 2012, that's when I had my fifth child, Grant. He was born in 2012. I think he's the one that put us over the 7.799999 billion mark. It was my son, Grant. In any case, this concludes round 5. Let's see who's in the top 5 now before we move on into our potentially game-changing high-pressure lightning rounds. Okay? I think we may have, let's see where we are with regard to our leaderboard. Or maybe we just need to move on to our lightning round and we can catch up on our leaderboard next. Let's see.
I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
Sorry, we're gonna just push this one ahead.
Yes, let's just go on to, we'll find out, we'll see how our folks are differentiated in our lightning round.
Sorry, it's a technical difficulty.
It's okay.
Once this question moves on, we'll go into the lightning round.
Very good. Lightning round 1, folks. In lightning round 1, I'm going to tell you our category is skylines of the world. This is where I believe the upsets can happen, folks. Here in lightning round 1, you will be shown an image of a skyline along with a clue about the city being depicted. Choose the correct city. These questions, ladies and gentlemen, are worth more points, okay? So let's go on to our first one. Do you recognize this city? At an elevation of almost 12,000 feet, or 3,657 meters, what South American city is the highest administrative capital in the world? Is it Kyoto, La Paz, Lima, or Asuncion? Ah, many of you got this one right. So La Paz. Let's go on to our next question in the lightning round. Do you recognize this city? At just 0.61 square kilometers, or 0.3 miles, what city is the European Union's smallest capital city? Is it Valletta in Malta, Monaco in Monaco, Ljubljana in Slovenia, or Zagreb in Croatia? Ljubljana or Zagreb in Croatia? We have the answer. It is actually Valletta in Malta. That's correct. Correct answer. Let's move on to our next question in the lightning round. Question number 31. Do you recognize this city, ladies and gentlemen? Open in 2019, the vessel can be found in what North American city? Is it my hometown, Chicago, Toronto, Canada, Mexico City, or New York City? The vessel, where can you find it? Time's up. If you answer Chicago, unfortunately, you are wrong. Although that's my beloved city, it's actually New York, New York. Congratulations. Do you recognize this city? We're going into question 32. One of the 3 holy cities of Islam. What city is home to the Prophet's Mosque? City that's home to the Prophet's Mosque. Is it Jerusalem, Mecca, Medina, or Jeddah? Time's up. A number of you knew this one. It is actually Medina. That's home to the Prophet's Mosque. Final option in lightning round 1. Do you recognize this city, which is our question 33? What city is the capital of the first Eastern Bloc country to be upgraded from developing status by the Financial Times Stock Exchange? Upgraded from developing status. Is it Nur Sultan in Kazakhstan, Bucharest in Romania, Moscow, Russia, or Warsaw, Poland? A lot of you knew this one. You're correct. It is Warsaw, Poland, which was upgraded from developing status by Financial Times Stock Exchange. Let us, if we can, look at our leaderboard and see where people are after the lightning round. Daniel's still holding on to that top position like it's a bag of money. And Nicole's, she's separated herself. She's in second now. And you can see who's third, fourth, fifth, and Bonnie and Michael have fallen down to 6, but I believe in you, Bonnie and Michael. Let's keep those answers coming, because the next round is another lightning round with a lot of potential for movement here on this board. As we head into this final round, this is our toughest category, if you ask me. It's called Flags of the World. Now, you will be shown 4 flags, and you have to pick the flag belonging to the country given. These questions, as I mentioned, are worth more points. So here's a chance to move up that leaderboard. From among the choices in our question 34, you have to pick out the Vietnam flag. Which flag is the flag of Vietnam? Wow, these are tricky, but a lot of people knew this one. It's actually correct. The far right is Vietnam. You guessed correctly. Question 35. Pick out the flag of New Zealand. You'll be presented 4 choices. Wow, this one was tough for me. If you picked the flag furthest to the left, you would be incorrect. The correct flag is the second from the left. That's New Zealand. Let's move on to our next question. Question 36. Pick out the flag of Colombia. Time's up. If you pick the far left, that is actually Bolivia. Colombia is the second from the left, then you have Ecuador and Venezuela. Good choice for most of you. Let's go on to the next question. Question 37. At this time, I'm asking you to pick out the flag of South Sudan. Time's up. Ooh, I think most people picked correctly. The third flag from the left is South Sudan. You have Jordan to your left, Kuwait, South Sudan, and UAE is on the right. Let's go on to our next question. This is our last question in the competition. Pick out the flag of Nigeria. From among these four flags, which is Nigeria? A lot of similarities here. Time's up. If you pick the flag second from the left, you are correct. The farthest on the left is Ireland, then Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and Mali. Let's take a look at our final leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel, it's no surprise from the beginning of this game, he's been holding on to the stranglehold of first place, and he wins with 3,400 points. Congratulations, Daniel. You're our grand prize winner today. I can hear you playing that ukulele from here. Fantastic. We have prizes for second place and for third and fourth. Congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you for bearing with me, folks. I've enjoyed playing this game with you. Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet you in person one day. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm turning it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Congratulations to our winners. We'll be following up with you directly after this to make sure that you get your prizes. We are very sad to be giving up the beautiful ukulele, but Daniel, you've proved yourself and are well deserving of this. And hopefully you can take some lessons if you don't know how to play already. Christopher, thanks for being our trivia host. You're always an inspiration and never fail to keep us smiling. So thanks so much for making the time to be with us today. I want to thank the Cultural Vistas trivia team, Keenan, Phoebe, Max, and Steve. You definitely kept us on our toes. So thanks for all your work and coming up with those great questions. So this concludes our program today and our 2020 virtual awards benefit. It was a great reminder of how we can stay connected in creative ways by sharing knowledge, culture, food, inspiration with one another, which is so important. Thanks to all of our participants, our speakers, our moderators, and our sponsors. I'm so honored and humbled to be part of this terrific community. Thanks for helping Cultural Vistas carry out its mission of developing global leaders who are equipped with the skills needed to build a better future together. And as a reminder, please don't hesitate to make a donation to Cultural Vistas. It's not too late. You can text CV 2020 at 44321. Thank you so much for spending the day or the 2 days with us and your patience for our virtual awards benefit with some of the technology, some challenges, but we made it through. Wasn't quite the same as being in person, but it was really a great way to connect across borders. A special thank you to the Cultural Vistas team. Emily, Laura, Lauren, got Dan Ewart in here with me and the tech team. Really appreciate all that you've done to make these 2 days really enjoyable. We will be following up in the near future with more ways you can engage with us, including a book club to dive deeper into Fareed Zakaria's latest work, The 10 Lessons for a Post-Pandemic World. Please stay healthy and stay safe. Have a great day and have a great weekend. Thanks, everyone. We do have one final slideshow for you before we say goodbye. Thanks.
you.